Today I want to present you my project about one of the most famous work by J.Cooper, the Deerslayer. First of all, I want to tell you about Romanticism in American literature. Romanticism was an artistic and intellectual movement with roots in Western Europe. It arrived in the United States in 1820 after the American Revolution. Later in this movement, American literature flourished and matured, with works like The Scarlet Letter and Moby Dick becoming available to the general public. One characteristic of American Romanticism involves humanity's relationship to nature. Much of the writing during this period revolves around the idea that in nature people will have an inherent desire to behave well. It's a civilization that hinders the goodness of people. Nature becomes a source of inspiration and instruction as well as delight. Writing attached to American Romanticism deals with the individual. It explores the links between one human being and another, as well as to a large truth, adding a spark of divinity to this writing. Ideas related to Jacksonian democracy, which stresses the freedom of the individual, is also a prevalent characteristic. Rather than simply exploring large, overarching themes, romantic writers would write on the individual connection to such themes, or rather have universal themes affect everyday life. American Romantic literature dropped much of the rigidity of earlier writing styles. Inspiration and emotion were highly valued, while traditional form became more rejected. The idea that writing should be limited to a group of set rules clashed with Romantic ideology. Rules were not completely thrown out, but writing during this period had subjective forms stemming from organicism, whereas past works were connected to neoclassic rules of form. Characters in American Romantic writing were stagnant. There was little character development in writing at this time. Characterization in this period saw elements of Gothicism, attaching grotesque or strange qualities to characters. Many of these characters were imbued with a desire to search for a beauty of freedom. As for J.Cooper, he was the first major American novelist. Cooper is known for portraying the darker, seedier parts of human nature throughout history. He writes about the Native Americans struggled against the manifest destiny of the white man. In the Deerslayer, he eliminates the stark lines dividing the two races, since his protagonists are a mixed group. Deerslayer, the protagonist, is a native who ends up finding a place in the Mingo tribe, against which his friends are fighting. He remains, however, sympathetic to his white friends, rescue Judith from sudden death. The story discusses the idea of racial integration. Is it possible? Through his death-defining devotion to Harry, Judith, and Hetty, Deerslayer demonstrates the authenticity of his friendship. In the end, he chooses to return to the Mingos and accept a punishment rather than live with the white people as Judy's wishes. Another racial dynamic exists when Chingachgook and Hist join the crew. They are both natives who are enemies of the Mingo. Again, the white people and the natives work together to survive under the Mingo raids, but Chingachgook and Hist also choose to remain with the Mingo in the end. They prefer to be with people of their race, even if it means servitude and punishment, rather than to adopt the customs of the white man and conform to a different sort of society. Perhaps they don't believe they will be accepted among the settlers and trappers. Maybe they feel as if they will disappoint their ancestors if they desert their race. Regardless of the reasoning, each of the natives choose to stay with the Mingo tribe in the end. Based on the success of the group of characters fighting the Mingos, the races can work cooperatively. Judith even loves the Deerslayer, though he rebuffs her advance. They don't hate one another on the basis of race. The book ends, however, with a sort of defeat in the struggle for integration. For whatever reason, the Native Americans stay with a tribe that is not theirs rather than join the whites in their society. Neither does Judas remain with the Mingos when offered. Each person still chooses allegiance to race above hope of successful integration in society. Cooper's novel makes a very clear point that the system is broken. In his day, he didn't foresee successful interracial existence if someone was not willing to change.